You're listening to the World of Business and Taxes with Mike Lodge, keeping you informed. So let's get started.
And welcome to another podcast of the World of Business and Taxes, or otherwise known as the WBT. This is Mike Lodge, and today we're going to be talking about small business and the branding of small business. You know, when you're branding yourself, it is really creating that statement about yourself. It is telling your story. And a lot of you think that, okay, I'm going to open my doors and I'm going to start selling stuff. But if people don't know who they're buying from or who they're getting their services from, and they don't know what your brand is, they will probably think that you're kind of just a little flaky because you really have no presence. And as you develop your business, that's what it's all about, is developing a presence. So let's go over some items that we need to talk about when it comes to the branding of your business. We talk a lot about business and taxes on this podcast, but we should also talk about, for small businesses and for those just starting up, the part of business which is important, and that is your branding. Okay? So number one is that you need to understand your mission. And from the start, your brand image should be tied to your core values, which often relate specifically to what you want your venture to do for your audience and become and what it becomes over time. Even if you already have a logo and have designed your company website, you can make small tweaks to ensure your branding sends the right messages to your audience members from what you do and what they can expect if they engage with you further. You might even be able to drastically change your logo once, but if it happens much more than that, you risk appearing flaky. Put your mission statement and core values on paper and conduct an audit to make sure your visual materials align with them. Excuse me. One of the issues that I look at every single day is my branding. And I'm making sure that no matter what I'm doing, if I'm on the internet, if I'm responding to email, if I'm loading something up onto one of our many media sites, it always has to have our logo on it. Someplace, somewhere, it's got to have our logo. And so that when people see that image, they know exactly what we're about. When we're about helping small business, we're about preparing tax returns, we're about accounting work, we're about providing business advisory services to our clients. So my logo has to be out there in every single thing that I do. And it's vital for me to know that people know who I am. The other issue is that we need to build a foundation. You know, templates and guidelines that you can personalize as you need to can make things easier for you and your employees by giving everyone a constant jumping off point as you create content for your brand. And every day we're creating content. In our emails we send out, what we're posting on our blogs, what we're posting on our websites, we're creating content. And we need to make sure that our content has the foundation of our company in it. You can use and you can personalize simple templates for everything from your emails to your company's blog posts to business cards, etc., etc., etc. A business card template can be used for hundreds of or thousands of employees as they join your organization. Best of all, you'll ensure your branding remains consistent over the years for any part or electronic publications that you are generating. I have had, in the course of 15 years, I have had to change my logo 3 times. And I didn't like having to do it, because I felt that people were going to get confused. However, I was lucky enough that my client base was so secure in us as individuals and us as a company, they didn't really care about me changing the names. But I had to change the names only because I had one big company that had a whole bunch of little tiny companies inside it, all going after the same brand name. And I thought that was kind of dumb of me to do that. So I created each individual. My staffing company had its own ID in its branding. My accounting firm had its own branding and its own name, and et cetera, et cetera. So I had to do it. I had to do it 3 times. And I just had to do it again recently because I decided to get rid of all of my partners and go in single mode and make sure that I am the focus point and the driver of this organization, and that my name counts for something. So I changed it back from what I started with, and that's what's really amazing to me, is I started as Lodging Company when I first started out in 1984. Can you believe that? And then I'm now 60 years old, and I've turned back time, and I have created my new firm, which is Lodging Company, which now I feel very good about because I'm back to where I started again. I'm back to my foundation. I'm no longer doing healthcare staffing. I'm no longer doing call centers in the Philippines. I'm not doing it. I could do all those things when I was younger. But now I think it's time that I focus on my pure identity, and that's business advisory. That's how I started in my 1984. That's how I started. And I feel that I'm now back to my foundation, and I am doing what I really like to do. And then we have to also set up a solid approval process. In the early days, your approval process was probably pretty simple. You signed off on everything. Every branding choice your company made, from letterheads to business cards to content on your website, was given the go-ahead by you, or if you had a co-founder, it was approved by them also. But as your team grew, and as it grows, this becomes more complicated and honestly kind of wasteful. You don't need to spend time calling every shot when someone else on your team can take the lead, as long as he has or she has the right information to make those decisions. And over time, I have given up a lot of my decision making to the people that I've trusted in my organization. While they were focused on their business entity that I assigned them to, I was off doing other things in other businesses that I had created. So I had to trust people to do what was expected of them to do. Now, did it work out sometimes? Sometimes not. Sometimes you get burnt by those that you think you can trust because you get so involved that you're not paying attention to really what's going on. And I've learned that if you have too many things going on, you can't focus on making that brand that you want, that you built, the best that it can be. So you have to tweak it along the way. And it happens with every single company that when you have an approval process and you have people making those decisions, you still have to watch out for what's going on. And don't hesitate in asking the questions that need to be asked. People might get offended, but hey, you're the one signing the payroll check. But you can still put your trust in them, but watch very carefully. That's what I have learned by experience. Don't forget your products and services. Over time, it can be easy for the products or services a business delivers to begin to deteriorate. Upper management may cut corners to reduce budgets, or a business may switch manufacturers or outsource services to an unreliable third-party provider. It's sad to say, but it can happen. And if it does, your brand can suffer as much as, or if not more than, it would if someone used the wrong font or made a big change to your logo. Set up quality assurance procedures. And I'm going to tell you this from experience. Every business needs to focus on quality control. And that means looking at the processes that you use within your office to get that product or service out to your clients. If you see that employees are not focused, then it's time that you remove them, because that not being focused can destroy your brand. And that brand is vital. At some point in time, if bad remarks get out there about what you are doing, or what has happened in your company, or the rumors out there that could be happening in your company, you have to monitor it all the time and make sure that whatever you say you're going to do, you're going to do it. Remember, when people see your logo, they're going to want to say, that's a good company. But if they see your logo, they're going to come and they're going to say, you know what, I don't think I want to do business with that company. I have heard things, I have felt things, I have dealt with things in dealing with them. Branding is very important, because what you do is what creates your quality of your products and the services that you provide your clients with. And then you need to keep your branding authentic. Your branding extends beyond what your customers see. It's also about everyone on your team. If your internal communications have the same messaging and overall tone as your external communications, you will be able to maintain consistency all around. Not only will your team be better equipped to deliver what your messaging promised, but they'll also feel more connected to your brand. In addition to your content and the look and the feel of your interactions with employees, ensure your work culture mirrors your company's image. Whether that means you're buttoned up and professional, casual and breezy, or something in between. Doing this requires your branding to be authentic. People can see through BS, and your employees will probably see through it faster than anyone if your messages to your external audiences are different from those to your internal ones that you're dealing with your employees about. Consistency is critical to any marketing effort, whether your business has created its overall look, or you're still working on it, or you take time to ensure you understand your mission and convey it clearly in your messaging. Over time, your own team will come to fully understand your business image, and consistency will come naturally to them. I have said so many times that if you are unable to explain the story of your company, what you do, what services you perform, the staff that will service them, if you're unable to tell the mission of your business, you're going to fail very quickly, because no one knows what you're about. And you don't even know what you're about because you can't explain it. Know your mission. Know your company's story, and make sure that everyone on the team that works with you knows what that mission is about. It's vital. I use the word vital a lot because I feel as though that when I talk to myself, I'm always telling myself, you know what, Mike, it's vital that you get that done, or it's vital that you say this, or it's vital that you produce what you say that you promised you were going to do. Vital to me means it has to be done, and it has to be done correctly. And we need to think about that every single day as we're running our businesses. And as we're trying to create our brand, even if you don't have a business, if you're thinking about your own personal self, your own personal brand, you need to focus on what your mission is in life. Just as a company has to focus on their mission within the community that they serve or the industry that they serve. So I hope that this helps you just a little bit. Think about it. If you want to read more about that, you can go to Forbes magazine. There's a great writer there called John Hall, and he is the CEO of Influence & Company.